What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. It's actually been a couple weeks since I've done that, but obviously you guys know last week was WrestleMania week. And none of those notifications mean anything to me. Anyway, so you guys know last week I was doing videos, for I was doing the WrestleMania prediction video, the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver video, the review from the Hall of Fame, and everything. It was absolutely crazy, and I'm still a little emotional from this past Saturday when we saw Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Main event WrestleMania Night 1. Last night, Night 2 of WrestleMania was even more crazy. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, a match we never thought would ever be, would ever take place at WrestleMania and whatnot, but it was quite the interesting. It was quite the historic weekend. But this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue is all about the Raw. It's all about the Raw after WrestleMania and what I believe should happen on tonight's edition of the Raw after WrestleMania. So obviously, when it comes to the Raw after WrestleMania, over the years there's been a lot of crazy moments. When you think about crazy moments, you think about excuse me. You think about the Raw after WrestleMania 14 in Boston. When WrestleMania 14 took place in Boston, when Triple H had brought back Sean Waltman, or I guess X-Pac for that matter, had him join DX. That was a surreal moment, a pretty surreal moment. Getting to see Sean Waltman back in WWE after so many years was pretty insane. And then of course too, you fast forward to 2009, when Batista made his return after suffering an injury, which was pretty awesome. That was back in 2009. And then of course too, 2011, the Raw after WrestleMania, in Georgia, we saw The Rock and John Cena make the match official for those two once in a lifetime. And fast forward 2013, Dolph Ziggler becoming world champion. 2015, Brock Lesnar completely destroying the commentary team. Hitting Michael Cole with an F5. Those are some of the most surreal moments when it comes to the Raw after WrestleMania. I feel like as if this year there are so many different variables that we need to look at here. So I'm going to go back to the card from last night. So as far as the matches that were representing Raw from WrestleMania, you had Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. You had the New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Miz and Morrison against Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Riddle, and then of course Riddle versus Sheamus, and then I believe, I think that's it. And I think that's it. Those were like the big matches that were from Raw, and then of course the only two matches that were representing both Raw and SmackDown was actually the tag team turmoil, and then of course the women's tag team title match, which was between Jackson Baszler from Raw and of course Natalya and Tamina from SmackDown. So let's start with obviously Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. That match actually kicked off night 1, even though excuse me. Even though there was a bit of a weather delay, if you will, obviously because of the storms that were taking place in Florida, but that match was probably one of the most hard-hitting matches I had ever seen in a long time, and given the fact that Bobby Lashley is now still the WWE champion, I think the big thing that needs to happen would probably have to be the return of Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar returns, then we will most likely definitely see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, a match that everybody's been wanting to see, myself included. I think that's one thing that could potentially happen, but at the same time, you also have to think about the fact that we haven't seen. That was my the fact that we have not seen Keith Lee in WWE. I think since November, if I remember right. Yeah, I think since November. We hadn't seen him since November, and he's been out with an injury ever since. And excuse me. And one thing I will say though is that if we do see Keith Lee back, maybe that match can happen. But obviously, if that match were to take place, I think the one thing that we could expect is probably Bobby Lashley retaining the WWE Championship. As far as the New Day and AJ Styles and Omos, I think we could definitely see a rematch taking place, possibly at Backlash, or I guess what they're calling it WrestleMania Backlash. We may end up seeing a rematch then, but we may end up also seeing a rematch on Raw tonight at the time it's being recorded and posted, which is actually the same day, which is Monday, April 12th. It is possible that we will see the rematch, but one thing that we also have to remember is that there are several other tag teams on Raw that are still biting for an opportunity. I think we have the Hurt Business. We have excuse me. God, I'm so tired. We have the Lucha House Party. We've got Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. And then, of course, we have the Viking Raiders as well. We've got Eric and Ivar, but Ivar's been taken out with a knee injury, has been taken out with a major injury. In fact, the last time we saw him, let's see. If I remember correctly, yeah, the last time we saw them at a pay-per-view, I think was at Backlash last year. Last year, if I remember right. Yeah, I think so. Was it? Let's see. Yeah. So the last time we saw them, it was it was at Backlash last year, and we have not seen them since. We have not seen them since, which is crazy. Obviously, Ivar was taken out with an injury. I don't know if he will come back, but we will see. We will find out what happens. Maybe he'll come back tomorrow night on Raw. Not tomorrow night, tonight on Raw. Who knows? Asuka and Rhea Ripley. I think the one thing we can expect, definitely Charlotte Flair coming back. That's one thing that I would most likely hope to see. Would probably to see Charlotte Flair come back, given the fact that she wanted Asuka at WrestleMania, but because of the pandemic, that did not happen. So, so maybe we'll see Charlotte Flair come back, and then it'll probably end up becoming a triple threat at Backlash, unless if somebody, someone like excuse me, unless if someone like maybe Peyton Royce comes in, or Nia Jax gets involved, then it'll probably be a fatal 4-way, or if you can also potentially be a fatal 5-way as well. Which, again, the possibilities are endless. Miz Morrison, Priest and Bunny. I don't think we'll see Bad Bunny back on Raw tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him on Raw tonight, but you can bet that Damian Priest is going to have his work cut out for him. If Bad Bunny does leave WWE, then Damian Priest will have his work cut out for him against Miz and Morrison. Even though Miz and Morrison admitted that that Bad Bunny has earned their respect, that might not matter when it comes to Damian Priest. So we will find out. Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon will probably say something stupid tonight and probably call Braun Strowman stupid again, like he had done for weeks and weeks and weeks. As far as the United States title, Sheamus winning it, I think he earned it. It's been way long overdue for him becoming champion. He hadn't been champion like years. I think it's been since like 2015 or something like that he had won a singles championship. But who knows? Maybe we might see a rematch. But anything is possible. But as far as the women's tag team titles, I think we could definitely see. I think we'll definitely see another number one contenders match leading into Backlash. I will say this though, if there's one thing that we know from the Raw after WrestleMania, it's that when it comes to the main roster, when it comes to Monday Night Raw, there's always going to be a lot of things happening, whether it's a big return, a big debut from NXT. Anything is possible, and honestly, I would not mind seeing Io Shirai debut on Raw. I would not mind seeing that at all. I think given the fact that she lost her NXT Women's Title to Raquel Gonzalez last Wednesday at TakeOver on night 1 of TakeOver Stand and Deliver, I think her debut is coming. I think her debut is coming. We're already gonna see we're already gonna be seeing a big debut on NXT tomorrow night, which I think was something Monet. I don't remember. Let me take. I'm actually on YouTube on my Fire Stick, so I'm gonna try and find it. Hang on, guys. I'm like, think it was Zoe Monet or something like that. I don't remember. WrestleMania exclusives. I need NXT. Here we are. Nope, that ain't it. Frankie Monet was the guy. What was her name? In which I believe it's Taya Valkyrie, which is the wife of which is actually the wife of John Morrison. So we know that Frankie Monet is going to debut tomorrow night on the first NXT Tuesday, which is historic. I think it's because of the National Hockey League, the new hockey season's coming up. I think that might be it. But honestly, when it comes to the Raw after WrestleMania, it can either be an astounding success, or it can also backfire in the end, as we had seen a couple times in the past. So I think that this Raw after WrestleMania has it in given how historic, how emotional, and how incredible it was for WrestleMania across both nights. Tonight, the Raw after WrestleMania tonight needs to be an astounding success. Otherwise, WrestleMania Backlash is going to be a fail, in my honest opinion. But guys, that is going to do it for this episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Question of the day: who do you guys want to see debut or return to WWE tonight on the Raw after WrestleMania? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which gets posted every Monday, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description. My two Twitters and my one Instagram, the links are down below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.